Alright everyone, hello and welcome to the virtual desktop experience. I am James, aka HCMJ, member of Death Dynamic Shroud.
I am Tech, aka HCMJ. Just kidding. I'm also Death Dynamic Shroud. Anyway.
I'm Kevin, aka Death Dynamic Shroud, aka R23X.
I'm Mark.
That's
me.
it. That's all we're getting tonight, folks.
The guy.
You got Mark.
It's episode 8. I think people know who we are. Maybe not. Maybe nobody cares. But...
Well, yeah, but that I think that's part of our fun. It's familiar. It makes you feel warm inside. Maybe fuzzy. And some people might just be getting the notification because they follow 100% Electronica because they have so much great content on this channel. And so when this pops in, it's like, I mean, we've definitely gotten a few. What the fuck am I watching? In the comments before, which are definitely justified.
It's a fair question, yeah.
Or most people think it's like the alternate title for the big stream.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is not.
From when George has forgotten to change it. We love you, George. It's just a good-natured ribbing.
Just a good-natured ribbing.
That's all.
So tonight, our virtual desktop comes compliments of me. This is one that I've wanted to do for really since the inception of the show because it's one of my favorite hobbyists. Oh, damn, both you take a drink at the same time. Oh, here we fucking go. This is one of my favorite hobbyist operating systems. Of course, as you can see here, it is. Oh shit. I did it. I knew I was going to do that.
Oh, man.
It's okay. It's not that big of a deal. It is Haiku. Haiku. So what is Haiku? Let me just create a new cursor instance here. There we go. So Haiku is really cool.
OS to allow cursor resizing in browser.
Yeah. It has the Super Nintendo Super FX chip or whatever that allows for that dynamic sprite.
Mode 7.
Yeah, mode 7. Yeah. In reality, Haiku has a very long and boring history, but if I'm to attempt to make that story briefer, I would say that it's kind of the cousin to Mac OS the same way that Next Step was. So basically, Steve Jobs gets fired from Apple, founds Next Step, and they make the next operating system and that whole thing, which eventually gets bought and becomes Mac OS 10. Another operating system that Apple was thinking about purchasing besides Next Step was called BOS. That's BEOS. And that was an operating system that was also made by two ex-Apple engineers that also worked on the Macintosh. They were on the Macintosh team. They were fired by Phil Schiller in the early 90s, and they started their own company. So in the early 90s, it was really cool because there were all of these different companies. There wasn't Windows total dominance yet, so there were a lot of different operating systems that were being made and a lot of bizarre competition. And BOS, while it eventually didn't really, it just kind of fizzled. They tried to make their own hardware, which is really, really cool looking. I'll show you a picture of later. But yeah, they couldn't really get a foothold in the personal computing industry, and then eventually Steve Jobs comes back to Apple, and the rest is history. Years and years go by, and a group of hobbyists that just loved BOS for whatever reason, like the same way that like I love it, and I can't really explain why, they decided they're going to basically rebuild BOS from the ground up for modern computer hardware. And that's exactly what they've done. And what you're seeing, this was assembled using the latest beta release. They finally have reached beta after like 10 or 15 years, a very, very long time of, sorry, my cat keeps running in and out. Very, very long time of a very dedicated group of people. So, you know, it's like a Sky Oblivion kind of situation, you know, or a, what's the real-time Riven, the Starry Expanse, you know, just like a really, like a lot of people that really love something really obscure and then just give all of their free time to it for like a decade, and then they produce something beautiful. So Haiku, it's really cool. You can just go to haiku-os.org, I think. You can download it for free. You can install it on basically anything that can run Windows. I have it running on my little 5-inch my adorable tiny PC. It runs on there. It's super lightweight, and it's cool because a lot of Linux software has been ported to it, but unlike Linux, which is sort of built with all of this stacked technology from different sources in different places, you know, these Linux distros being kind of a collection of all of these various pieces of open source software that have been sort of forced to work together, Haiku has been built from the ground up by a single team. So there's a unified user experience across the entire thing. So anyway, I'll stop yammering on about it, but it's a really, really cool system that, again, is based on BOS from the 90s. And so it has its own kind of unique perspective for all of its icons and stuff. Haiku supports these beautiful vector icons, so they have this little like little tile matching game here where you have to match all of their cute little icons, and this is a little demo where their logos spin around in 3D and stuff. And yeah, so a few things to note though about this desktop. So if I pull down the Kodi camera, we'll see that there's some interesting files we have here. So we've got some desktop ideas for future episodes, and we have Neo Gaia vibes in a folder here. And what's this? We have a tome of equipped secrets. Interesting. A tome of equipped. Yeah, you know, Kevin is the kind of guy. You know, he doesn't keep his secrets in a book. He doesn't keep them in a file. He keeps them in a tome. So, folks, I don't know what's in this file. I don't, you know, I really don't want to have to open it.
You don't want to know what's in that file.
I really don't. But we're gonna keep eyes on this file throughout the night. And we're gonna see what comes from that. And in other news tonight, we'll also have a special guest, and that'll be a little later on. But first, I thought we'd all just sort of get caught up and talk about our weeks. So that's enough from me. I'll go ahead and smash the conch.
Thanks, James. That was great.
Yeah. Are you actually running this OS on your laptop then? Your mini laptop?
You might think that because this illusion is so goddamn convincing.
I mean outside of this stream. I know how the stream works.
Oh yeah, I'm having some issues with the screen orientation. I think because this little Hong Kong laptop thing that I have uses a weird screen that's normally used in a, like this, and it forces it to use it like this, but Haiku recognizes it like this, so it's always like flipped on its side, and Haiku does not have a lot of super robust screen rotation options, as it is just made by a bunch of hobbyist programmers. But maybe someday, we'll see. So yes and
Atari
no.
Jaguar is like that. There's like a really, really dedicated group of people that love the Atari Jaguar video game console, and there's actually a IRL meetup called JagFest every year.
Oh, that's so sad. JagFest? Why do they call it
their
that?
link cables and play like Jag Doom, and they've like ported like Doom 2 to Jaguar, and there's like all kinds of crazy homebrew software out for Jaguar, and there's a new Flash cartridge that's coming out soon that I'm actually really looking forward to. I picked up a Jaguar in March, and I only have one game for it, that Cybermorph game, where I think it says Where did you learn to fly?
Oh yeah, when you
Every
bounce to
time
the
you like
walls.
crash into something.
Oh my god.
Wasn't the Jaguar version of Doom? Didn't it not have music or something? Was that the one that doesn't have music and it's just sound effects?
Whoa.
That's
That would
the
be surreal.
3DO version, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew it was something.
Gee,
weird.
no,
Kinda
maybe.
scary.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. There's so many ports, and I get them mixed up. But there's a great Digital Foundry video on like the breakdowns between all the Dooms. The lighting and the colors in the Jaguar Doom are like really, really good, and they're unique from other versions. It's generally considered a pretty good port for being in that generation. It's not as good as like the PlayStation version, but it's still a good port.
There is a version of Doom that will work in Haiku. So
Nice.
yes, Haiku will run Doom. It is true.
Sick.
What does this operating system say when you shut it down?
Ta-ta for now.
I don't know, Tech. What does it say?
It says Baiku. That's so easy.
Oh my god.
There it is.
So Haiku also uses. It's cool because Haiku the hard drive for it has to be formatted using the BOS file system. Like, it's so cool. It uses all the old BOS shit, including an updated version of the 90s BOS browser called Web Positive. So let me just pull this up real quick here. So this is...
Got it.
Wow.
This is Web Positive. And I was curious about Haiku. One of the things I didn't know about it until I put this together was I didn't know why it was called Haiku, and apparently in the original BOS, the developers, because back in
Did you ask Waiku?
So stupid.
I did not ask that. The developers of the BOS back in those days, as I was saying, operating systems tend to have a little soul in them, and so they had hidden a lot of haikus in the operating system, specifically in the Web Positive web browser. All of the alerts and error messages were replaced by haikus. So I actually have a list of them here.
Aww, I like that.
So yeah, some of these are pretty cool here. Not a pretty sight when the website dies, screaming loud. The site is not found.
So much fucking better than like Discord's like, oopsie whoopsie,
I-
there was boo-boo.
Yeah.
Fucking bullshit.
I
Yeah,
hate that too. Links are spoopy.
yeah.
Yeah,
The Discord is particularly like brands connecting with you, the youth, gamers. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
just like the little elves inside Discord are refueling.
It's
with
like the little
Ball's
elves can
energy
shut
drink.
the fuck up because I'm a grown ass man and I'm about to like smash them with like the shoes I bought with my own money. Like, I don't need your shit, you know? I don't need this in my life.
I don't need this shit.
You step
Ugh.
in the stream, but the water has moved on. The site is not here.
Wow.
The dream is shattered. The website cannot be found. Inside the spring rain.
Wow.
That's
Emptiness of soul. Forever aching blackness. Blah.com not found. That is a particularly haunting one.
That's
Holy shit.
dark.
So yeah, it's so Haiku. Again, it's a tribute to this little piece of culture that was injected into the original BOS. I'm so sorry. I love this shit so much.
That's great. It's great. I love it.
Is there a web negative?
This is. I actually used to like write haikus every morning, like trying to keep a dream journal, and I would write a haiku based on my dreams, and I have like a whole moleskin like full of those.
Mark,
Whoa.
that is the least surprising thing I've ever heard about you. I mean that in a compliment.
It would bring you like I can even remember some of the dreams I had right now. Like there's like one of the final levels of Wave Race where you're like racing between like tankers or like freight ships, and there's boxes everywhere. I dreamt of a place like that, but the water was like a foot deep, and I was driving a semi truck through it, and like I can't remember the actual haiku. I'll have to find those for next episode, but just the act of waking up like first thing in the morning and writing something like really does work. Like I don't know if anyone here has tried a dream journal before. Yeah. It brings like, then you read it at noon, you're like, what is this? It's like reading it for the first time, and it can really trigger the memories. Like
Sad Weeb says web negative is Twitter.
Oh god.
It's a pretty funny joke.
There's an even briefer type of haiku called a lunette that uses a 535 as opposed to, or 353 as opposed to 575 format for syllables counts, and I think those are really neat too, just to try and see how much you can say with as much brevity as possible.
That's the mobile version.
Well, haikus are cool because it's like that kind of John Adams style of minimalism. It's like it's the space between the ideas, and that's where the true art comes from. As with all good art. Oh yeah. My Spotify's off there we go. Yeah, sorry, I just started playing Derelict Mega Tower. Sometimes I don't know what to play, and so I just play that. But I also have a few cool features tonight. The Skype window I can actually make dormant, and then I can activate it and have it be the active window again. Look at that. Isn't that cool? And don't worry about it.
How did you do that? Okay. Oh, did it change the
yeah.
tab or whatever?
And then I can also pull up your standard haiku applications here. If you can see, we have there's the Bee Life. So Bee Life is what I was playing during the roll, which was pretty fun. We got Vectroids down here, which is a version of Asteroids that emulates the vector graphics of those old arcade machines. It's kind of cool. So.
It's Diana Ross simultaneously.
Yes, exactly.
Sad Weeb said you guys never talk. Oh, I was talking about Death Enemy Shroud. You guys never talk about your recent sets, but it feels like you put a lot of effort into making them very unique. Is it just more mundane to you than it is to us?
Well, I think we should start the show by talking about there was a number of really cool virtual sets, shows, content. Hours upon hours. It just never seems to end, But especially on Saturday, it was a particularly, special day, I felt. Like, I even said on Twitter, it felt like a virtual Electronicon, between the Virtual Memory show and then the Beyond the Virtual Utopia Experience 2 show, and then back to that, and there were all these different chats, and people were in YouTube, people were on Twitch, and they were cross-streaming. But even before that, Kevin, you had a show the day before, if you'd like to talk a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, that's my doppelganger, actually.
Oh yes.
My tulpa, if you will. It's a DJ prom night, and I released DJ Prom Night's music as part of my the Equips Picks Patreon, which is due to popular demand coming to the Bandcamp platform as well.
Wow, that's huge news.
There's DJ Prom Night rocking out on Codex's stream, and Codex is doing a new kind of talk show / kind of like an old school MTV thing.
120 minutes.
Yeah, where they got like performances and artist interviews and music videos and like cool commercials and bumpers. And everybody's sets were fantastic. All the music videos were incredible. It was overall a really, really great time.
Yeah, shout out to... No, go ahead.
I was going to say DJ Prom Night is like it's all like slush wave, kind of like inspired by... like 2015-ish Telepath stuff, but this was a particularly like dance floor heavy beat-heavy set.
As I can see by the action going on behind them here, which is really cool. Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to Codex Encyclopedia. They're a really, really, really cool person. I got to meet them and hang out at Electronicon 2 in LA.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, and just a really, really, really cool, genuine person. That was really
super genuine.
Yeah,
their Namco album is awesome as well. Namco tribute record on, I think it's on DMT. Shoot, I don't remember. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, it looks like this stream was a huge success. Look at that. Look at this guy.
What are you drinking there?
DJ Prom Night likes to drink, I'll tell you that much.
Could tell by your super low voice, hoarse, low voice.
Yeah, it was a bit of a Mr. C scenario there with the voice. A little
In the Black Lodge, you will meet your shadow self.
So you've been watching Twin Peaks, I take it?
Yeah, so I finished season 3 I guess 2 weeks ago now, and I'm still every day oh my gosh, what happened in episode 14? And I'll read a little bit of a recap or whatever, and then start obsessing about small details again. But I restarted the series from the beginning. I watched Fire Walk with Me, The Missing Pieces, the pilot, and I'm on episode 5 or 6 or whatever of season 1. So that's fun. I've only seen the original run once in 2012. So there's a lot of
nice.
I'm re-noticing now, especially after watching Fire Walk with Me and season 3 that I never noticed before. And I ordered the Mark Frost books too, the Secret History of Twin Peaks and the Final Dossier, which are looking pretty cool. I barely started the first one, but it's already pretty sweet.
Yeah, is Fire Walk with Me a prequel?
Wrap up anything in that universe.
Yeah,
it's a prequel, but it definitely references events that happen at the end of season 2. So it's a prequel that you should watch after you've already seen the entirety of season 1 and 2. Otherwise, it'll spoil some stuff for you.
Yeah, Fire Walk with Me is more important than all of season 2, basically.
Yeah,
there's so much content.
Season 2, yeah.
It's crazy. And the show does get bad. When David Lynch, when he walks away, you can tell instantly.
It's goofy.
Yeah,
it's really goofy.
Oh, what the hell?
I still enjoy it for its.
Sure. Yeah, Wyndham Earl was just never truly that scary, and I think that Lynch even kind of I don't know. That's all right. If you haven't watched Twin Peaks, then
he's scary when he has the pancake makeup on and the black lipstick. That pretty terrifying.
A little bit, but I think that's the point that Lynch tries to make when he's just destroying the entire second season in the final episode.
Yeah. Where
Wyndham Earl's oh, I'm gonna take his soul, and Bob's what? Are you kidding me? Nah, man. Yeah. And it just squashes him. I think that he was just man, this. But there are moments in season 2, when Major Briggs is tied up in Wyndham Earl's cabin, and he says, "What do you fear the most?" And Briggs says, without hesitation, "That love is not enough." It's holy shit.
Think about that every day.
That's a lot to consider and a lot to think about.
Funny how deep season 3 goes into Major Briggs' character without ever the actor's been deceased for a while now, and he's all the footage they use is recorded beforehand, or it's just kind of interesting how they explored that character in season 3. I don't want to give any spoilers away if there's anybody that hasn't.
I still haven't seen season 3. I do want to see it.
It's also really confusing because the actor that played Major Briggs also played Agent Scully's father in the X-Files, and he was also in the military. So it's this dude is just everyone's military
same
dad.
Guy.
Yeah.
What a weird typecast. Oh yeah, I keep getting typecast in supernatural thriller TV shows as a military father. Okay.
The actor that plays Albert Rosenfeld, what's his name? He's in Blank Check.
We never talked about that movie. We need to talk
Blank
about
Check. That comes up like every episode.
God, what is his name? I can't believe I'm forgetting this right now. I'm gonna have to Google it. Well, anyway, he plays a bad guy, named Quigley in Blank Check, and then he also plays a bad guy named Quigley in Critters 2.
Quigley. Oh.
Yeah, so here's Major Briggs jumping shows to be on The X-Files as Scully's father. And you can see it's a very similar kind of situation with him always, right? He's always kind of doing that I'm coming in from heaven or wherever, and that's the situation.
Here's this viewing guide for the episodes of...
Miguel Ferrer. That's his name.
A viewing guide for Twin Peaks episodes.
Wait, was this guy... Was he in Was he in the Stargate show, too?
As a major?
As a major? Possible third sighting as a major. Maybe this guy really was a major.
Any major dude will tell you that.
Remember that show from the 90s, Major Dad? Or was that the 80s? I forget.
Yeah.
I can tell none of you guys are Steely Dan fans. God damn it.
With the white guy with the bald and the mustache?
Wasn't that Night Court? You thinking of Night Court?
I don't know, man.
I have very few memories of that zone. Well, anyway, tonight is a very special night. It's a very exciting night because we have another guest for everyone tonight. So, 1 second here. I have one other little trick up my sleeve. If I can just... Where did you go? There you are.
Oh, Ronnie got my Steely Dan reference. Thanks, Ronnie.
So why don't I just go ahead and open up this people folder here.
Ooh, who you got in there?
So, yeah, so I was showing this when I was showing off the UI before the stream, and it was just me and Tech in the chat, and Tech immediately looked at and then recited back to me the order in which these were created.
Which I was like, well, when did he create me? And then I noticed he created me. I knew he was going to create himself first, because obviously, who's he going to make second? Who's he going to make second? And he created Kevin second. He created Kevin second instead of me.
Probably because he loves me more than me.
I was trying. It was a shuffle. I was attempting the shuffle. But you can see that there's one more on the list here. We have Skeleton Lipstick. Dr. Chris himself is going to join us right about now. Let me just call him in here on the Cody Cam. So give me 1 second here.
On the Cody Cam?
It's the Cody Cam.
That's cute.
Who's Cody?
I don't know the backstory behind that. Alright, so we're calling Chris.
Hello?
Hey, Chris, can you hear us?
Hey, hello? Yeah.
We don't see your video yet. Oh, there you are. All right.
Hey.
What's going on, guys?
Joining us in the virtual desktop, we have Dr. Chris himself, Skeleton Lipstick. Anyone in the Philadelphia underground music scene will know him as the man behind the terminally chill vaporwave dance parties that used to happen at least bi-monthly here, and they were such a great time, and I miss them so much.
Also in Davis, California, too.
Oh, yes.
Fantacat runs them in Davis. Yeah.
And, of course, the terminally chill after parties from both Electronicon 1 and 2.
Yes. That was such a bluff doing those.
You've been making music forever.
Yes.
You were a part of the very early vaporwave scene, and a lot of people might not know that about you.
Yes.
I first met you because Keith was in town to play a show with you at Silk City, right down the street from here. And that was actually the night that we started I'll Try Living Like This, because Keith just stayed in town that night. So we all hung out and we saw you play And then him and I went back to my place and just chopped and screwed K-pop all night, and it was a really kind of beautiful moment. There's a photo from that somewhere. You might have it. I don't know.
I have that photo actually. I'll post it on
if you text it to me, I can pull it up in Web Positive here, and that'd be pretty cute.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I could do that.
So why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about your early history with Vaporwave? Because I know that you and Lux worked together to make the Lipstick Elite,
which actually Keith did the cover for as well.
Right? Yeah. Was that Orange Milk? I forget.
No, it was released on Stratford Court and then also Sun Up Records originally, I think. Yeah. And then and now is on My Pet Flamingo. Took it over.
That record is beautiful. That green color is just delicious.
Oh, it is, right? It looks like a delicious piece of lime. Yeah, so, I mean, the way that when it started, there wasn't a name for anything yet. Do you know what I mean? It was just a lot of people sort of hovering around certain Facebook groups, really. There's one that this guy, Mateo, a.k.a. Mr. Nonsense, used to curate called Chillwave Glo-Fi Hypnagogic Pop. And he would basically just send him maybe your YouTube videos or something you were making at the time, and he posted on that Facebook group. And he had a really just fantastic way of curating artists that he felt were doing something that was not the same as what came before it, and that seemed to be influenced by a lot of other things. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so he would put people up like he would put my music videos up, he would put Surfing's videos up, or George, who was Mirror Kisses at the time, his stuff up, or Dennis with 18 Karat Affair, or Dreams West, or Vectroid, even before she was doing Macintosh Plus, would be posted up there. And it just sort of put a lot of people in contact with each other. And the other thing at the time was, and you guys probably know about this too, is just everybody, now that there's a solidified scene that makes sense and has structure to it with an organization of record labels and even venues now, and media as well, with things like Private Suite or Music is the Hang Up. But back then you were just sort of like, you would make shit and you would just send it to blogs, right? Mm-hmm. You know, I remember there was like a bunch of blogs at the time. Yeah, it was like everybody was starting those. You got a lot of good copy from it, though. You know what I mean? That sort of still helps her today. Mm-hmm. But eventually, you just get put on these Facebook groups. Another one, and there were people who would start their blogs, and there were certain tape labels out there, like Crash Cymbals or Chill Mega Chill, were these tape labels that would put out stuff, but also put out kind of your stuff that was more in this vaporwave world as well. And they would release your stuff. And from that, all of a sudden, Penny from Surfing had approached me to because he had heard my EP on Mr. Nonsense's thing and asked to put out my first record. And I was like, who's this guy? And then I looked at Surfing, and he had also put out another album by an artist called Bewilder Beast, who is amazing. And I was like, wow, I want to be associated with this. And then they friended me, and then from that, you just started randomly getting friend requests from people on Facebook that you had no fucking clue who these people were. Like George friended me, and I'm like, who's this fucker? Like, what's this guy doing? And then I was like, oh man, yeah, look at him. He's got a really great grasp on pop structure with his songwriting. And I know Lux originally because Lux wasn't making music at the time. She was just a fan, and she was just hanging out and reached out to us, and then eventually became the monolith that she is today, and especially when she started Fortune 500.
Oh, thank you, Smug Duck.
Thank you, Smug Duck.
I can't read that. I'm so sorry, but thank you. Yeah, so I'm sorry. The donations are coming in on the calculator, so that was a surprise. We also have some. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, real quick, Chris, but this is really important. We have new donation gifts tonight. So, I mean, there were like 7 or 8 of them, and they're all random. So, please look forward to that. But
courtesy of the great Sega Octopus.
Yes, and a few cute ones.
Oh, that's
that I pulled off the internet that I think that we'll be able to enjoy.
Someone guessed the background properly. That is right. That's from Gregoraki's Nowhere film. Correct.
Ooh,
nice. Deep cut.
Yeah.
So this was all. When did this album come out? Like this was like 2013.
Something like that. Absolutely. The whole point of the album was for Lux to take the songs and to break them down into their small. To take a song, and sample it down to its smallest component. You know, the sort of like when you listen to a song really you never remember a full song. You just sort of remember a portion of it, right? And the portion of it that you remember and reverberate and repeat says something about you as an artist, right? So she would do that and break it down to its smallest component and then send it to me. And from that smallest component of a song, I would build it back up into a full song. So that was the challenge of the project, basically, was to take something that was sampled in a traditional vaporwave style, in the most traditional vaporwave style, only like a 15-second sort of sample, to break it down to the portion of the song that really resonated the most. And then from that now deconstructed song to take that small few seconds of it, send it to me, and then it would be my job to take that and then build it back into a pop structure just from that. And then maybe I'll put some things on it.
That's really fascinating. I had no idea that that's how this album was made. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, it was a really interesting concept to do with this sort of thing. And then other funny thing about that album too is that in the album, the character that I'm kind of doing in that album is this sort of salacious, Casanova type character, sort of one who talks about these sort of discreet and hidden love affairs. And I wrote that album when I was really literally about to get divorced from my wife, and like it was this weird anxious energy that I put into this character. And I even remember thinking, it's like, she's not even gonna hear this album, so who fucking cares? Because
it was around that time that it was around that time that I first started seeing you around. Yeah, I remembered because I was splitting up with my wife at the time, and I met you at like some basement show. Yeah, you were like, best thing that ever happened to me. Like, now I can live life the way I want to live it. Like, I saw my future, and it wasn't what I wanted, and now I am living life the way that I was like, holy shit, this guy, he's got it. He has the answer. He's giving it to me right now.
You don't realize how small the world becomes.
Seffi Starshine. Sorry, Seffi Starshine, thank you very much for the donation. And check out that awesome
yes, the DDS GIF there. Really cool. But yes, you were saying The Secret of Life.
Thank you so much.
Yo, but no, for real, the actual secret to this is just to remember how long it is and how big it is. And when you do, I guess.
Everyone.
This and buy the house or buy this or have the children, it's like, man, life's so much longer. There's no end credits, and it's so big, and there's so many experiences out there, and there's so many different ways to do things right. And what is right is you know what's right. You know what's best for you. People ask people advice all the time on what to do, but at the end of the day, you have to sit there and digest the advice and ask yourself the question, is this right for me? What is right for me? Because there's no wrong way to fucking do this shit, as long as you're happy and you're not hurting people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I heard someone say once that, like, if you want to be rich, like, don't take advice from other people that are rich, because, like, it's different for everyone, and it's not like there's some there's not like some secret and it's like, oh, now I got it. It's like I think it's like half luck, half hard work, right? But it's true. Like, I don't think Tech and I were talking about this the other day. It's like, I don't think everyone necessarily understands in today's world how long and hard you have to actually work on something to be good at it,
Man, it's ridiculous. People, all right, like,
you're everybody. A surgeon. I don't have to tell you, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. That's such a strange thing. It's just, I consider that to be just like everything I do, whether it's the music I make or the surgery or the or the parties that I promote. It's all part of the same thing. It's all skeleton lipstick. It's all part of the same artistic statement. It all means something. And it's all building towards something. I have other plans for years from now that I constantly am mapping out and thinking about in my head to just expand the statement of what I'm doing. But I mean, everybody's an artist. This is really the only real profession, right? Is artist. Everything else is kind of just a mask that's been created, but everybody's an artist, and everything you're doing is your artistic statement. It's like it's happening right now, right? This right now, this streamcast right now is an artistic statement. Everything that we're saying right now, the people participating in the chat are making theirs, and everything else is just a hat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say one of my dear patrons said that they were accosted for being a part of Equip's picks because only real artists like Telepath and Fire Tools should have a Patreon.
Everybody can have a fucking Patreon. That's ridiculous.
I was like, oh, you know what? Who cares about the term artist? I like music dude instead.
Yeah, like according to like what parameters exactly make
who said that?
Yeah.
I'm
gonna kick their ass. Yeah, who fucking said that about my boy?
You know, the problem really is that for every 100 positive voices you hear, it's that one negative one that just cuts the hardest. It really sucks. But it's important to keep that perspective that, like, man, that sucks that person fucking just denigrated me like that. But then there's like 500 other people out there like, we love you and your hair is beautiful.
Well, I love everyone, even the haters, so that's
I don't love the haters.
That's why you're a music dude. That's why you're the fucking music dude.
Yeah.
I am the music dude.
Yeah, I love everyone except for the haters. Just no opinion.
I definitely like find a great catharsis in texting with James and making fun of the haters. So it's really, yeah, it's like,
it's
oh, okay.
So easy to do that, and it's so hard to create. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. It's so easy to just put book sucks, not artist.
Lazy to troll.
It's so hard to actually make something and to put yourself into that thing and then to put it out there and then to put yourself behind.
We were talking about the. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, James.
No, it's a little difficult when there are like 5 or 6 people in the chat. It gets a little because we should have a real conch shell that we pass. But Kevin, please.
I was just going to say, when I worked for a contractor for, the past 3 years, it would take me and my buddy 3 hours max to demolish a bathroom, take it down to studs, and get all the trash out of there. But it takes 3 weeks to build the bathroom from there, put in all the plumbing and, tile it and all that jazz. So, I mean, yeah, it's incredibly easy to destroy things.
It only takes me 10 minutes to destroy a bathroom.
That's what he was doing off camera before.
Bare hands.
Yeah, toilet poop jokes will always be funny.
I know.
Mm-hmm. So Tech destroys bathrooms everywhere he goes. That's what he does. But yeah, we were talking about all those live streams earlier, and Tech and I did that DDS Unplugged set, which was really, really fun. And I haven't played guitar. I haven't played acoustic guitar in I don't know, a couple years. For longer than 5 minutes. And I had done that guitar set in Nara. That was fine or whatever. But my chops are not what they were when I was 22 and playing in a band every day. And all the comments were so nice and so beautiful, and there was just one dude who was some fucking Guitar Center dude who's definitely uses a string winder, probably has one of those things that sticks on the headstock that holds extra picks, probably has a Telecaster hanging on his wall, and then a Les Paul next to it, and he's got some fucking Dan Electro amp or Orange Stack, and he's got a pedal board. This dude's got a pedal board. You just know he's got a pedal board. And he's got all kinds of shit. Maybe he might even have a Line 6 because it really doesn't matter. But yeah, he's trying to light me up, about my guitar playing. And it's okay, that part's fair. But then he started talking about, my chord forms. And it's and it's so easy to be invincible when you have confidence in yourself. Because it's there's no part of me that... It's I know exactly what my strengths and my weaknesses are. Weaknesses, I'm not a virtuoso guitar player the way I used to be. Strength, I know more about music than that person does, times a trillion. And
that's all they have, man. That might be all that person has is to say, well, I had a better chord form than James.
Yeah, he was a little nasty, trolly, gross man. He was in that chat all day long. It's just oh, God,
It's a shame. With all that energy he's putting towards the negativity, he should be putting that towards making his fucking art and being kind and watch shit come back tenfold to him if he did that. You know what I mean? But no, he's going to use his energy to be my pinky goes here when I make a chord.
But it's all good. Yeah, we don't.
It's all good.
We don't need to give a platform to the haters.
That's enough of that.
because we're all lovers here.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be a massively successful classical guitarist touring the world once COVID eases up a bit.
And I'd still be smarter than them. You know?
I set once, and he said he's playing Livewire too. So everyone tune in.
Oh yeah. We'll see those guitar chops. We'll see the awesome chords that he goes to. I'm sure they're fucking sick. Anyway. But that was a really great set, and I think it's worth. And it was great because Tech upstaged the shit out of me. Because like I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna like play a couple of our songs. Like it'll be cute, and I'll end with the like Stardust cover, and it'll be kind of cooey, and it'll be beautiful and fun. And then I was like, Tech, you should do like to my wife, whom I still love, or whatever that fucking song's called. And he's like, yeah, I could do that, cool. And then he sends this thing to me, and it's like the most impassioned, like heart-stopping, like showstopper performance.
The way you introduced him too, and what you said, like, and ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Except one more thing.
Yeah, I learned that from Steve Jobs.
So
good.
That
was
so
Steve Jobs'
theatric.
Like, there's just one more thing.
Yeah, I didn't realize your set was going to be as sort of lighthearted and almost like
playful.
Witty. Yeah, playful.
It was playful, you know.
So then I was like, oh man. Well, usually all you're fucking crying as you're fucking singing TTFN, like, like I'm like, all right, well, I guess I gotta put some heart into it.
Well, my heart was in it. Yeah, my heart was there.
No, I know. I mean,
like Stardust,
I just thought it was going to be a lot
very
more somber.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a huge success. Shout out to Vapor Memory for inviting us to that. That was a really, really part of a really special thing. And if you missed the Beyond the Virtual Utopia experience too, what are you doing? Get yourself to twitch.tv, where you already are, /100% Electronica. I'm pretty sure it's here or on YouTube or somewhere. You can watch it. You can watch it in 360 on your phone. But if you have an HMD, because I was working on the video for that right up to the line. I had renders going on Kevin's computer in Chicago using AnyDesk to control his computer, sending him files so that I could use his gaming PC to burn out Blender renders for me while I was doing the same here in Philadelphia. And so I didn't actually have a chance to watch it in VR until it was actually live and a part of the stream. So I was in PlayStation VR just watching on the YouTube app, and just like literally in tears, because it's like you put so much work into something like that just to see it in kind of like a fisheye drag around thing on your screen, and then it's like that moment where everything clicks and it's like, holy shit, it actually worked.
Sad Weeb's got the link in the chat. Thank you, Sad Weeb.
Thank you, Sav Weeb, as always.
The YouTube is 360, but the Twitch stream is flat. It's 2D.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then definitely watch on YouTube.
2.1 is recommended.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a headset, what I do is like I just kind of put my phone like that. So you look around. It's pretty much the same experience.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
It's a pretty good hack.
Yeah.
Pretty good hack.
So speaking of
oh, we were synced for the
segue.
We were synced for the segue.
Shoddy.
Oh, I love it when we're in sync. It's just so cute, isn't it? Go ahead, Tech. You take this one.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're going to say.
I was going to say that speaking of these live events, Chris, you have one coming up. Is that right?
I do. I'll be... Man, I've been participating in one of these big things every month. You know what I mean? I'm actually still trying to finish my next record, but every time I'm getting a little progress on that, it's like, we got to do another stream, right?
Oh, yeah, and I'm sorry, if I could jump in. Go
ahead.
I'm sorry, but I have had the same problem, and I made a statement on Twitter, and I was very frustrated. And I was like, stop asking me to be in your fucking shows or whatever. I didn't mean that.
How dare you?
I didn't mean to sound like an asshole.
Fuck you.
It was seriously like, I'm just so overwhelmed with, and I already had like 2 that I was making something for, and I'm like, I gotta stop fucking doing this. So I'm sorry if that came off the wrong way. I got
an invitation. I got an invitation today to do one that's in September, and I was just like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
we cannot.
But I really appreciate it, and I'm so sorry for interrupting yet again.
But go ahead.
No,
we understand.
No, absolutely. So and it's always a really cool stream too. It's either pad stream or it's the Vapor Space stream or this stream that I have coming up, which is going to be for Fiber's record label, Montaigne Records, which is going to be a 2-day event on the 18th and the 17th and 18th, and it's going to have. There it is, right there, and you can see right there. This lineup is incredibly stacked with, obviously Pad and Tupperwave, Vaporer, St. Pepsi, Mo Shop, Android 52, Discoholic, Fiber, myself, obviously. Lots of really cool shit going on here, and my set's going to be particularly interesting too because I figured there's not really much reason for me to be doing a lot of disco or future funk or new or new disco or any of that basically, and during my set. So. I've really put a lot of effort into making this a very, very strange and dancey experience. Basically, whenever I do my sets, I take them very seriously. I take it very seriously to create a journey with what I'm going to do, what kind of music I'm going to play during it, which Skeleton Lipstick songs I'm going to play, which non-Skeleton Lipstick songs I'm going to play, and how that's going to mesh together to create a whole kind of journey. Do you know what I mean? And also, when you do these DJ sets, this is very different than when we do Terminally Chill. That's, a dance party. And that's about the audience, and that's about maintaining a dance party vibe. Whereas this, it's like all eyes are on you. So when I'm when I'm going to build into a new song, or when I'm going to combine two songs together, it needs to announce itself. Do you know what I mean? Because this is not a dance party where you don't want to announce things too greatly on the dance floor at a dance party, but on the stream, I take this very seriously, and I constructing these sets very seriously, not just in the song choice, but in how it gets from one song to another, or which songs I'm going to pick for it in general. It has to be big, and it has to be, you have to draw not just from your DJ toolbook, but from your producer toolbook as well, and what you're going to add to the songs, and make them different and make them bleed like that. And also the visuals I put together for this as well. It's supposed to start with this scene of an obelisk almost that is got all kinds of neon creatures on this obelisk, and that's supposed to be very 2001-ish, but you're going to enter this gateway and move into a world. I think I used this quote earlier when I was talking off stream, the vertiginous world of dreams and nightmares.
Yes.
That's what the exact way. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I tried to do with this set. And, so basically 6:45, July 18th, tune into Twitch for that, and you won't be disappointed, and I think you're going to find it very, very fun and very, very interesting. And if you have substances you like to do them. Do them at 6:45. It'll be great. You don't need to, but it won't hurt if you do either.
And that's a doctor's recommendation right there. So you heard it right here on the stream, folks. Molo360 says, Skeleton Lipstick, your sets have been absolutely amazing every single time. I have to agree. I think it's very clear that you take it seriously, and you go in every time. I love your setup too.
To get professional.
I have like no space between here and this shitty wall, so I'm always like it's weird. Like if you see me and like you can see my gear in front of me too, I'm actually like playing like Nosferatu, and it's like super uncomfortable, and it's really uncomfortable. But yeah, so this lineup is crazy. I'm looking at Aquafina, like they're real and they exist. Like,
well, I'm pretty sure that they've passed on, but there is going to be something in that space for Aquafina. You're just going to have to watch the stream to find out.
Okay, all right, cool. But yeah, Mo Shop though. I haven't seen Mo Shop do anything ever. Kevin is a super fan. Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody, if you're not familiar with Alex, aka Fiber, I think you need to start getting familiar with this kid. He's 21 or 22 right now, and he's got huge boss energy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's incredibly interesting. He's been doing this since he's also from that generation of kids who have grown up with this scene already in place, as opposed to us who sort of were around when it began or right after it began and knew a time before. Whereas this is now you're seeing this generation of kids who are growing up and they're 14 and this is their subculture already. Do you know what I mean? And they kind of just get into it. And so him and a bunch of other people like him are coming of age, and they're developing this crazy sound that this is just the beginning of their artistic careers. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Fiverr's got so much more ahead of him. And this is you want to put your chips behind this kid. I'm telling you, in 4 years, George is going to be texting me saying, "Hey, can you put me in contact with Alex?"
Yeah, Fiber's really cool. He played
I'm going to be mediating between these two kids.
He played one of the Terminally Chill. I remember. Like
he did.
He had to like go to school the next day or something.
He went to school the next day. Drove down and got to Terminally Chill at like 12:45 in the morning. And I was like, "You want to get on there and do a set?" And he's like, "Yeah." He drove down from Baltimore, and I put him up there. And
That's
he killed it,
crazy.
crushed it, got on the CDJs, crushed it. And then it was like 1:30 in the morning. I'm like, "Do you want to go home now?" He's like, "No, I can hang out a little bit," because then we were all getting up there. We were all pizza.
Oh, we got a donation there.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And then he got up and like stayed for like he had to drive back to Baltimore and go to a lab in the morning at 8 a.m. He left at like 2, man, and do his own. But you know the thing I'll say about Terminally Chill is like people get up there. I mean, James, you know, and you have such a fun time up there. You know what I mean? You have such a fun time working with a dance party audience. It's very different than working. I always try and specify this, that Terminally Chill is a dance party. It's not a show. I'm trying, with Terminally Chill, I'm extending the arm of the vaporwave world into the dance party world, okay? So I'm trying to make it its own format in the same way disco is a format, or techno is a format, or goth is a format, you know what I mean? Or even like indie dance is a format for dance parties. I'd like vaporwave to become a format for dance parties. So you get up there, man, and you're just, you know, it's about the audience, not the performer anymore. And you just get up there. Do your thing. James, how much fun do you have up there?
It's so liberating because like I had never done any DJing until you invited me to like do these, and I still
man.
Oh well, I learn from the best, but I don't use CDJs. I do everything in Ableton because that's just how like I can understand it in my brain. But it is always just so I don't know. It's like I learned through each successive like DJ attempt like. It's not like a show where everyone's going to kind of like it no matter what. It's like, no, like you have to cause people to dance. And
you know what?
It's like a whole different science, and it's so interesting to get into.
It is. It's really interesting because like the trade-off is that like at a dance party, you're going to bring the audience. They're going to come to dance. But they, you know, as for a show, it's harder to get people to come sometimes, right? But for a dance party, I mean, that's my way of backdooring vaporwave to these people. You know what I mean? It's backdooring this fucking amazing music where so much is dance floor ready or anthemic enough to be on a dance floor. Is like you backdoor this shit. It's hard to get people to come to a show, but you could get people to come to a fucking dance party, especially if it's an established venue known for throwing dance parties. Which is the bar
and the people that come to these things, like they are packed, and they are not all vaporwave people. It's not like
this is their first experience with it.
Yeah, they're just like people, like young, cool people that want to go out and dance.
Man, and this is making those people, you guys are becoming their superstars, people who wouldn't even know otherwise, you know what I mean, who aren't on Twitter, who aren't on like words, you know what I mean?
It's going to be like
for sure, as soon as we can have them again.
Yeah, please.
It just
hurts. You know, people have so much fun DJing them, you know what I mean? And I remember when I did the after party for the Electronicon 1 I remember, and Ryan came up to do his DJ set, and St. Pepsi, Ryan Scott, and he was very nervous about doing a DJ set. You know, he was ready to go, but he was a little nervous, and he got up there and like he was doing his set, and then every time I talked to him, he'd be like, one more song. That's my Ryan impression. I love him. But one more song. Let's do one more song.
That's a good Ryan. Oh, I miss him so much. I miss everyone so much. I miss parties. I miss live shows. And
I want to party so bad. I want to turn it up to 11.
God, I really want the fucking party.
It's just so much fun. It's just the community. Do you know what I mean? It's basically, with Terminally Chill, what I'm trying to do is it's like church. Do you know what I mean? You know, whereas for some people going to church on Sundays was where they would meet people and talk to people and have experiences with people. But that's the dance party can be that as well.
Yeah, I was just trying to remember that there was that Sky Tower album by Metallic Ghosts, which is Chaz from SPF 420.
Absolutely.
But this is like a great, hilarious concept album about a future where all dance music, where St. Pepsi is outlawed and everyone just has to listen to Echo Jams all day.
So good.
Yeah, and he's just like, I just want to fucking party, man. I just want to party. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
It's the reason I became a DJ was because I wanted to do this party, And the other thing about vaporwave scene in general is I mentioned being married earlier, but when I was in this marriage, which was not a very good one, that my refuge from that grind and that living a life I did not want to live was the online vaporwave scene, especially when it first started gelling together. It was these people I randomly met and having friends to make art with and to send art back and forth with, and having a little audience for that sort of thing, and a group of like-minded individuals that I didn't even know existed because I thought I was the only one who liked One Tricks Point Never that much, and as well as 80s nostalgia. You know what I mean? Like I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the only one who was sick of indie dance music, but then you meet these people, and you always had that, and it saved my life. And now I get to do this dance party, and I get to be a part of this. I get to continue to contribute to the scene in that saved my life. You know what I mean? And it's wonderful, and it was so cool to be at Electronicon and just to see and to see what happened. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I remember when George and Ryan and them were first coming around, and there was nobody at the shows. James, I remember you doing Death's Dynamic Shroud at Creep Records.
Yeah,
I was there.
The first one. Yeah, there were like...
And I was the only one there, I think.
Yeah.
And maybe like 2 or 3 people, some of our other friends were there, but, people, didn't get this. You know what I mean? And it's amazing to be on stage.
What was that, Kevin?
I said it's such a wash sometimes. It's so hard to predict. I played a show like last January in Chicago, and like 20 people showed up. Not that that's like a bad amount of people or anything, but it's definitely just part of it's too, like people are way less likely to go out to shows in the wintertime, but it was like the live debut of all of my Cursebreaker material, and it felt like super cool and intimate, but at the same time, I don't know. I've been to other shows too where there's somebody incredible playing, and I'm like one of 5 people in the room, just like, God, where is everyone?
Yeah, just because they know you on the internet, that doesn't mean that locals care.
Yeah,
like people that come out, and I learned that lesson real fast. But then
I was interviewed in a magazine, and they quoted me saying basically what you guys are saying. Like I said a lot of other positive stuff, but the quote was like, you just throw a show that isn't Electronicon, and there's like 7 people there, and it was like, why did you quote me on that exact thing when I said all this other stuff?
But it was
5 shows in Vancouver.
It's really important to maintain there are rules for both worlds. There are rules for the internet world, and there are rules for the real world. And you can be very successful in one and not so much in the other. You know what I mean? So it's remember to not rely too much on what you see happening on your stats, because that doesn't always mean everything. Those people are all over the world. You have to do the groundwork. You know what I mean? Like I had to do the groundwork before. I couldn't start with a vaporwave dance party. Like when I started DJing, I did other things first, just because I wanted to work in these specific venues where there was already an audience of people who would be considered into alternative dance music, alternative types of art. You know what I mean? And they might not know what vaporwave is, but I had to get in there and get to know them first, and I had to befriend all the bouncers and the promoters and the DJs and the bartenders and the regulars and the club owners. And then I started. This is really embarrassing. The first, I wanted to do a night I thought that nobody had done yet and would be successful at least one time. So I did a ska party.
You should talk to Mark.
Talk to Mark about that.
Check this out. I have a ska CD on my desk right here.
What's the ska CD?
Literally ska.
The CD.
Yeah. You know what? We did talk about our playlist last week, our editions, but I added 3 ska songs to our Neo Gaia Fantasy.
Nice.
I'm gonna get some coffee while you guys talk about ska.
Right? I don't want to talk about ska for very long, but I do want.
I want to talk about ska for the remainder of this episode, if we can. If that's possible.
I want that OB strip for the Neo Gaia Legend vinyl.
Yeah.
What ska songs did you have though?
Well, first,
any of them? You don't have to go through all of them.
Two of them I know. One of them was reselectorization, I think it's called, by The Selector. They made an album. The Selector's classic, but the Happy album.
Too. Yeah,
you know it? Off the top of your head? That's amazing.
I do know. I have a Selector song on the playlist for the ska song for the ska night. Absolutely, yes.
Sick. But
they have a real good instrumental. Good.
Their original album, like their releases in the '80s, like were very ska, second wave ska. But in the 90s, in 94, they did this album called Happy Album, and it just sounds like they just bought a Proteus synthesizer or something and got some drum loops on a CD. And
it's ridiculous.
It's the sickest album ever.
It's so cool.
The Proteus has like the sickest like 90s sounding drums out of any like Rompler or like rack piece that I have. Like there's like sounds that are like reminiscent of like, you know, like late 90s, like R&B, like some Aaliyah kind of stuff. You got some like front 242, like industrial stuff on there. It's really, really cool unit.
Well, it's like it's something about it infected producers' brains in the 90s. Like, it sounds real.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks. I can't read the messages on.
I can't read them on my. I'm watching this on my CRT right now, and the pixel density is too small for me to see. It just looks like
that's
white
awesome.
block.
You got to send a behind-the-scenes pic.
So I did the ska party because I figured there would be enough nostalgia for people to go to it once, and it would be a hit. And then from that, I could parlay that into other gigs. And the ska party, however, and I ended up having to do that for like a year and a half, actually. Or I ended up still doing that party for a year and a half. I hired a co-DJ who was more interested in ska than me to help me out with it. And but man, I really don't need to listen to new ska bands ever again. That's okay.
Yeah,
dude, the fourth wave is coming. Just want everyone to know.
I don't think it is. Fourth wave. I don't think that's ever. I don't even really think rock music is really gonna start coming back. You know, let alone ska. You know what I mean?
We'll see. In 2025, we'll see.
You know, it'll come back, but it ain't gonna come back the way you remember it. You know what I mean?
No, I hope
it's gonna come back.
I hope not.
It's 100
Gex kickstarted the fourth wave with Stupid Horse.
They're planting the seeds. They're planting the seeds.
That's not gonna. That's like ska in that it won't age well in a few years.
I want to hear
more
ska songs.
It's true. I call it as I see it. It's
hold
like
on,
it right
hold
now.
on.
In 10 years.
Everyone, watch this. Watch this. Hey Siri, remind me in 5 years, has ska come back? Question mark.
Can you set for July 14th, 2025?
There you go. Wow. July 14th, 2025. So I'll let you all know when I get that little buzz on my phone. I love setting reminders like 10 years into the future and stuff. Like for the whole year leading up to the first Neo Gaia tour, I had a reminder that was like, light up Kevin about 3D Zelda games or something. And then like sure enough, like we were in Japan and it was like, oh yeah, I need to fucking talk to you, Kevin, about Ocarina of Time and get you on the team here.
You know, the last thing I'm going to say about ska is probably ever again. I'm just kidding. Is that like I was really worried that was the first party I actually threw, and I was worried that it was like that might be all I get to do, and that I'm just going to be Chris the ska guy. And
tin lipstick.
How much you hate it right now in this conversation bodes well for it returning with like.
Yeah,
like fierceness, you know.
Maybe I'm trying to get ska going again. By the way, I'm talking. Maybe this is all part of the plan.
I sure hope so.
When was ska ever big to begin with?
Real big
the
fish.
Mid-90s. There was a time. Muddy Boss Tones.
But so
it was
right.
all
But
over
so
the
was.
Warped Tour.
So was like Brian Setzer Orchestra and Squirrel Nut Zippers and fucking swing for a year. Like there was
but ska has roots in the punk world, so you can trace a history to it. And if you bought a ska album, it might also be on a record label, whether it be an insert for punk bands or emo bands too. So because ska has ties to that punk rock spirit, the other things are novelty. Whereas ska, you can like kind of call it novelty for a minute, but then you're like, but they do tour with good bands too.
Because the second like two-tone ska tied to punk in England in the like late 70s, early 80s is actually kind of amazing and political and stuff like that. But the 90s ska, like the Planet Smashers, like people like Surfing into Fino, stuff like that is like those are the awkward memories. Yeah, it's like what are the songs about? Ska. They're all about ska and partying. And
they're about being just a girl.
Ska bands. Yeah. Oh, that. You know what? I'll die on a hill for Less Than Jake, though. I think they're still good, and I think they have fantastic lyrics. So I stand by that.
Vans Warped Tour 2002. I have a signed shirt from Real Big Fish. I still have it.
It's like, all right, how could we be as unappealing as possible? Like, what's just the worst? All right, so let's start with glasses shaped like that. Check. Second, check. Let's put fucking auto racing checkered flags on everything because it's like we've reached the goal.
Man, doesn't he look kind of vaporwave though?
A little. I used to wear shirts like
only
that.
In that he only looks vaporwave because of that dumb ironic edge of vaporwave that
See, this man is not being
can
ironic,
kill
though.
it.
It's impossible to talk about ska with people because once they figure out you're not joking, it just turns into an argument, you know?
We don't get ska. This is my fault. I brought ska into this world right now, this competition. I brought it into the new world.
I'm happy.
And I made very, very happy.
Well, the thing is, Mark has
which is fantastic.
Kevin Tech and I, we don't care about ska. We have no opinion. Not really.
You're cool.
So this is awesome because
I
this
get
is
it. You're cool.
No,
Yeah.
but this is really quality.
With their hit "Our House."
It's
Wait.
Well,
Gotta stop talking about ska at some point.
it's
we
really good
stop.
content though because we've never been able to tap into this side of Mark fully, and I'm seeing there's a little bit of
happiness.
there's some there's passion behind his opinions, and I really do appreciate that.
Well,
there's conviction there.
Here we go.
I mean,
ska.jpg. Here we go.
Have you guys ever heard the best show? It's Sharpling and Worcester. It ran for a while in New York. I've only ever heard CD recordings of it, but it's John Worcester from the band Superchunk, and his comedian buddy. And there's they basically they write the whole episode out beforehand, and one of them will play a caller, and then they'll basically just argue with each other. And I forgot who plays who, but one of them plays rock critic Ronald Klonkel. And
Ronald Klonkel?
There's one where he just makes bold assertions, he writes this book called Rock, Rot, and Rule, where it's basically just columns of every band and whether they rock, rot, or rule.
wow.
It's Neil Young, and then he's rots. He's what? How could you say that? And he's that album Trans is just terrible. And he's but he's got so many other good albums. He's yeah, but he made that album, and it rots. You're not going to consider Harvest or Before the Gold Rush? And he's I'm not really considered. I'm not really interested in listening to any previous albums by the guy that wrote Trans. And it's ridiculous. But there's one bold claim where he claims that Madness invented ska with the At Our House. And there was no ska before that.
One step beyond, which they did before Our House, it was just pure ska. So
Mark just sent me this link. Mark, what am I looking at here?
This is a great resource for anyone wanting to talk to me about ska on Twitter.
The thing is that one of my first heroes though was Mike Park from Asian Man Records, because that dude just lived he lived the idea of make your record label, make your art, do your thing, and do it on your own, and make it that way. And that guy, he lived everything he preached. He was completely DIY. He did his bands. He put out maybe the first albums by bands like by Less Than Jake or Alkaline Trio or Slapstick, bands like that. And he was him running it out of his garage with his girlfriend and his parents. And I would order stuff from that record label, and he'd always send me extra buttons and just because Mike Park is just that fucking dude. So it just embodies that spirit of DIY punk.
It's
no
it's
awesome.
it's
Silly girl of mine, Mike Park.
It's alternative tentacles, but just really lame instead of cool.
Kind of, yeah, but really lame. That's kind of charming. The one thing about the ska party, that was really nice was that nobody looks cool dancing to ska. And there's beauty in that. You can't posture. You dance to ska, you're gonna look like that guy in the picture. You're not gonna look cool.
Pretty cool to me.
And so that's really beautiful to me. And there's
my only relationship to ska is that my ex-wife. Well, see, there's a segue there. I think. But
Quick show of hands, who here
my-
is divorced? Who's
my,
this
my
chat who is
ex-
not divorced?
my ex-wife she played trombone in a Christian ska band called Purpose.
Dude, can you
That's
send me
Did?
send me
This
their
isn't
MySpace? I need
this in
yeah.
Nicole, right?
Wow.
Oh, wait, do you know Nicolina?
Yeah, I know Nicolina. Absolutely.
So weird.
I know
You live in
her.
Philly.
Yeah, but she
So
used to
weird.
live in Philly, or she used
Yeah.
to be in Philly.
Oh,
Actually, no, I
weird.
know her because she knew I was in Vaporwave. Actually, I saw her outside like a show a goth dance party one time. I was talking about Vaporwave. She's like, "Oh, you know, you're Vaporwave?" I'm like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Do you know Death Dynamic Shroud?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm friends with James and Tech." She's like, "I used to be married to Tech." And I'm like, "Oh,
yeah, I was gonna
well."
say that was post-divorce. Yeah.
And like I Facebook friend her, and like her last name was still Honors at the time. Yeah, she's remarried, and anyway,
Yeah, she lives in
I think that's
Chicago.
like-
She's remarried.
you guys are cool
She
and
has-
everything.
She has, yeah. We ended the marriage amicably.
It seemed like you guys are pretty amicable. You know that, like, even when I went to go to Riot Fest in Chicago recently, like 2 or 3 years ago, like I actually like crashed on her couch for like a day.
I remember seeing that. Yeah, you were like,
You
yeah.
said that you married her.
So like I crashed on her couch for that for like a day at her
Skanking
place.
What is it? I haven't gone this far into the site. Maybe I shouldn't even have linked it.
Wait,
But, I don't know what.
This is
All
like
the
beautiful
caverns.
site.
Yeah.
I
I
need to
see
like I need to like
this
take a bath
site.
after looking at all this. I swear to God, it's like
the,
this
the
Twitter.
green, like Sarah
Close your
Fawcett
eyes and you see
checkered
checkerboard
background.
pattern.
It's burned in your record.
Close your
Yeah.
eyes. If you like just like a magic eye, you pull it back far enough, and then all of a sudden, you know,
It's another skanking guy.
it's another skank. It's another like the
Yeah.
skanking
Why
guy.
do they
like-
call it skanking? What the hell is? Because
It's-
ska
Man,
is in the word. Is that like the thing? Like the.
We don't. I didn't make the
Skanking.
rules.
You just,
I just live by.
I just live by them.
What was that old?
Oh, man.
We can stop talking about ska, but there is a documentary by Noisy that really sheds light on the origins of ska in the UK that I found really moving, and it's less about the like me being awkward in 1999 skanking in ill-fitting shorts, and it's more about racial
Skanking
tension, and political
in-
issues in the UK. You know, in the 70s, 80s,
Is it
and
on
to today.
YouTube?
You know,
It
if it
is like-
wasn't for
yeah.
ska, I don't know how introduced I would have been to punk, though. Do you know what I mean? Because I was young, and like, what is like fun for like a young kid to listen to when you're like 13 or 12 is like, "Brr, brr, 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 Mom, kiss me, Mom." And I assume the song is like about getting an extra mozzarella stick or something. I don't know.
It's true.
Oh yeah.
But like from that, like you learned about so many other kinds of music. I would never have discovered probably punk and hardcore as quickly if it wasn't for, you know, listening to the Funny Trumpet Man.
For sure, like Rancid is an example that kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Rancid and No Doubt were what I knew as ska when I was in growing up and listening to like radio rock or whatever, and that's how I understood like, oh, there are these like weird bands with brass sections that jump around. But
About those
That's all I
Disney
really-
Channel bumpers. On
Did they have ska?
oh,
Yeah. Like I
Disney
think
Channel was
both Nickelodeon
before
and Disney Channel had like ska bumpers for a while.
Honestly,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I,
I mean, Less Than Jake did the soundtrack for the Good Burger movie, I think.
Ah, okay.
sweet.
There might be a
I-
conspiracy there.
I just ordered a book about ska. Actually, it's
Jesus Christ!
it's,
We have got to get this back on track, y'all.
well,
I cannot.
The front woman of the Selector, Pauline Black. She's an amazing
Mm.
vocalist,
Mhm.
and she wrote a book called Black by Design, and I think it's going to be a great book. It's coming to my house via the mail, so I should get it soon.
Are you like deep into ska, Mark?
I'd say so.
I kind of am, yeah.
He
I
has a
don't know.
checkered past.
Wow, that was
I think
so
that was
good. That was good.
Someone should. I hope someone clips that. That's
Yeah, that was really
Oh man!
Wow.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
the Obi
Wow.
strip. The Obi strip on the Neo Gaia Fantasy vinyl was inspired by ska.
It
and
is.
I designed it, and I put a checkerboard on it because I love ska.
no, but that's
Wow.
good. Because
You know,
here,
who was saying earlier that they're never surprised by anything that Mark has to say? Like, what was the thing that happened earlier? Like, that's the least surprising thing I could ever learn about. Like that was literally earlier.
People usually say things about me, and I'm like, really it's on the fence of being an insult or really, really flattering. Like,
No, but it was. I meant it as a compliment.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, I'm a huge fan of Mark and R23X. In fact, if you actually went back and look at the video that Aaron Chadro did, where, you know, the poolside vibes on the 100% Electronica video, where he interviews, you know, he does the game show with me and with like FM Skyline and me and Satin Sheets are all getting like the game show things. Well, he asked the question, who are you most excited to see at Electronicon? And the correct answer is surfing, because Penny edited the video, so anyone who didn't say surfing, he X'd on them. But, you know, like I said R23X. I said that's the one I was most excited to see.
Well, you know,
that's on record.
Thank you.
I think
That's
we can
so
all.
nice.
I think so. We've now reached the point of the show where we inflate Mark's ego. You know, because we were talking right before the stream about how we kind of have two theme songs, because every single pre-roll bumper, always when the train starts moving, we play Threshold Guardian by Mark, and then that always goes right into the Ueno Zoo Park Gates song, which is kind of our official theme song. But it's funny, like when I was making the Neo Gaia documentary, or when I'm doing anything for the show, I can just pull up like any Mark track, and it's always going to be just like sick. You know, like it's like I need this to be cooler, then I just drop in a Mark track. It's like, oh, this is way too Jamesed up. You know, like we gotta get this out of here and like get a little soul dropped here. It's like let's drop some Mark. So thanks, Mark.
That's nice. Thanks.
I forgive you for liking ska. I love you very much.
Speaking of that interview in a pool, is that before Electronicon 1? Like, where were you? You were staying in some fancy place? Like, we were staying in like an Airbnb, and James was dressed up like a vampire. Can we get that photo? Can we get a photo?
Oh yeah. Here, I'll pull that up.
This is like you're in a rooftop pool, and then James is gonna pull up the photo of where we were while you were in the pool.
We were on a budget.
Well, I didn't stay there actually. That's where surfing was staying at, and they invited me over to. And like I actually got a hotel that had like a very similar name to that one, and I'd seen they sent me a picture of where they were staying at, and I was like, this looks so great. And then I went to that hotel they were staying at, and I went to the front desk person, and I'm like, oh, I'll take my key, please. And they're like, no, that's the wrong hotel. And like I actually did stay at like some flop house that had a very similar name to Hotel Indigo.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so like, and I had to just sort of like gather myself and my ego and leave. Oh,
this is our hotel room.
That's beautiful.
Yes, that was. Kevin had just gotten the stuff. Yeah, so I there's a much better picture of me with the light in front of me, and I actually look like Nosferatu in the picture. But that day, we were so happy.
Oh God, my hair looks so good there. Oh, I look like
so good
trash.
It does look beautiful. You all look beautiful though.
Hi, Al.
You got adorable.
Oh, look at Al.
Yeah, what's up, Al?
Al.
Good to see
Al's
you.
awesome.
He's
So
I know.
I don't know how bad this hotel was, but the hotel I stayed at for Electronicon 2, I like wanted to really save money. So the player I stayed at looked like that scene in Breaking Bad where the hooker is going to all the different rooms, and there was actually a sign outside the hotel that said, it said no weapons, no prostitution, no drug use, no drug selling. Like it actually had to have, it had to make this clear to everybody staying there. And it was not even no drug use. Did two different things for drugs. No drug use or selling.
Yeah.
And that was like a big sign on top of this hotel. And I was like, I'm not allowed to pick hotels anymore. I do a terrible job at this.
So it wasn't a very cool hotel, is what you're saying.
It was like a nerve-wracking.
We went to Disneyland.
Wow.
Zach and I stayed in a really sick Airbnb for Electronicon 2, but we didn't have a way to practice. We ended up actually plugging in the mixer RCA into the flat screen TV there. And so there was it was like no video signal, and then we used the TV speakers as a way for us both to hear.
TV speakers?
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
We just had to had to turn the TV back on because every like 10 minutes it would automatically shut off. So check on.
Honestly, I like lo-fi stuff and
That's
bad
no-fi.
quality, but that bothers me to hear.
It was raw. It was raw.
It was wrong.
It was
wrong.
just a little bit.
I think you guys should play a show like that.
Itch.
The TV.
You just mic the TV speaker, put a Shure SM57 right up underneath the TV speaker.
Yeah. Check out my printer.
Crank it out of a PV amp.
That picture with James in the equip outfit, was that the first time that you just gotten your stuff when he tried it on first? Is that what happened?
Yeah, that was the debut of the costume.
That was the debut.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find the.
Can you pull that up again, or you have?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, I have to open up the browser here.
I gotta find the really good picture. It's on your Instagram.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
Amazing.
Instagram.com.
You know, I mean, it still breathes a lot more than telepaths, though.
Yeah. I wore like a tank top underneath the cape, and I had shorts on, so I was just fine.
Yeah. Did you guys actually touch telepath's his frock? Did you feel it? It feels like liquid, like a liquid version of human skin that's been like solidified back into something.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so this picture is pretty legendary.
Oh, that's good.
Like this is no filter.
No. Heavy Nosferatu vibes.
Yes, like someone had like a desk lamp that they were like shining up on me, and then I mean, look at that. It's just perfect. Very few times being bald make you sicker, and this was definitely because look at the line. That line right,
so good,
right there. I mean, that is like as if it were like carved by a master. You know, just so wonderful.
You got what, like 3,000 likes on that one?
It's 142. It was one of my most liked photos of all time.
Really?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's an elegant photo.
It is. It is. So thank you for that moment. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's really good. Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it's because I didn't make the transparency around the cursor big enough. I knew this would be a problem, but it's fine. It's just a kind of a fun little challenge here. Anyway, Dr. Chris, thank you so much for joining us on the stream tonight. I miss you in person, and I miss
all of you.
Parties. I miss hanging out at crazy shows that George throws all over the country and all of our plans. But I think that we're just going to keep hanging tough, and we're going to stay friends, and we're going to keep doing fun virtual things together, and we'll see the other side of it someday.
Wear their masks so we can do this shit again.
Yes,
God damn it. Wear the fucking mask.
It's not
Wear
hard.
the goddamn mask.
Just please wear it, for Christ's sake. I really...
Wear the mask. I want to play the show again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, we'll soon. So then, before I go, one more time, July 17th and July 18th is, at twitch.tv/Montame Records is going to be the Wave Pool performance. It's going to be amazing. My set's going to be at 6:45 on July 18th, and that's going to be a fucking journey. My first album, Glows the Melts, is being re-released on vinyl soon on Needle Juice Records, who also released like Mind Spring Memories and Cat System Corpse, the News album. And so that album's being remastered by Fiber. And then it's going to be re-released on vinyl. That's coming soon. I have a new album coming out eventually. I'm almost finished it. I have to finish like 2 more songs on it, master it, and then figure out how I want to release it, who I want to release it with, etc. But that's going to be called It Takes a Lifetime. I would describe the album as post-future, not in the idea of future being a time frame, but the idea of what is life when you post-future to me. Future to me means not so much a time frame, but the idea of anticipations of sorrows, anticipations of achievements, anticipations of achievements as well. But what is the world when it's post that? When that, and I think that's the thing that I want to explore a lot on the album is the idea of losing anticipation of things and just being and existing. And if you're just existing, you are post-future because you're no longer just always trying to move towards something. So anyway, I described that in the sound of the themes of the lyrics and also the sounds as well, which will draw from all different types of styles, present styles that are popular right now, trends that are from the past as well, and just gel them all into one big thing. And yeah, you'll see. It'll be called It Takes a Lifetime because everything really does. Existence takes a lifetime.
So yeah, if you don't follow Chris, get on it right now at SkeletonLipsty1 on Twitter. You can see it right there. Type it in.
Lipstick.
Give him a follow. He's an OG vapor dude. Really the purveyor of the scene here in Philadelphia. And someday we will all party together again. So Chris, thank you so much for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll see you again soon.
All right.
Sorry we
guys.
talked about ska so much.
No,
love you. I love you guys very much, and I miss you all. Okay.
Miss you too.
Miss you.
Bye, Chris.
Bye.
Oh, that's fun. Neo Gaia kicked out Chris Smith from the call. It's so
Jeez.
cool.
Yeah.
So harsh.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun. See, we can just have people just jump in and jump out like that. I think that's a great way to run a show. You know, just have.
He has so much energy.
Yeah, Chris is.
He's great. He's a great guy. I remember after my set at Electronicon 2, he was like, just talked to me for like 10 minutes straight about my set. And I was like, wow, I should have recorded that because it was just so awesome.
Yeah,
like,
Chris.
Good quotes for the hype sticker.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're kind of winding down here. We got another about half hour to just hang out in the chat. Tech, it sounds like.
I got a thing in the mail from Mark.
Oh, a Mark package. Do I smell tears on the horizon?
I'm getting really bad signal though. I don't know if it's gonna work. Okay. Sorry, my signal is rough.
Yeah, I'm getting a low signal quality error message in Skype. It's been on and off all night.
I was worried you weren't going to get this package.
Well, it came from the Northlands, so you never know.
Yeah, I just hand a package to like some guy on horseback, and in exchange for a bottle of maple syrup, and he just rides off through the, all year round.
All right. So look, hold on, Tech. Hold on. Just stop.
Yeah.
All right. So before we jump into this, couple things first. First off, Tech, did you notice this calculator app?
Yes.
Now, did you notice the number?
I'm gonna get another cup of coffee. One
now,
second.
Mark, you're gonna want to be here for this. You're not gonna want to miss this. This is
my
great.
coffee. It's like right there.
Okay, all right, go get it. I'll wait.
10 seconds.
We'll wait.
God, unbelievable.
Are you talking about me?
No.
No.
So look, Tech hates 420. He thinks it's a dumb joke, and he hates it every time he sees it. And we're always making 420 jokes. And so I thought, okay, how am I gonna pump Tech this week? So I did 320, and you know why, Tech?
I don't.
Because I'm just a day late and $1 short.
Wouldn't it be 321? What? $1 short.
Yeah, just $1 short.
Because a day late would be 421. So then,
no, I just
sorry.
Just forget about it.
I'm really sorry. You're right. No,
I did that for you. Just that was for you.
I'm sorry.
So, no, it's not. It's fine. It's not even a problem. I don't even care. It's fine. But my mom says that you have to go home now. So
320 glaze it, as they say.
And so the second thing that I wanted to jump in on real quick. So I can't get packages from Japan right now, so I had to smuggle them through Canada using Mark. So Mark, I don't know if you have it nearby. Can you just show?
Oh, it's right by underneath the Scott
our
CD.
audience what I just had to get from Japan. So for anyone who's been to Japan, you'll know that.
Oh my god.
Money is always
coin
exchanged.
Coin tray?
Yeah, via coin trays that have little nubs on the bottom. So I wanted one, so I bought it, and it's like a 380 yen item that I had to pay like $30 to get shipped to Canada, so that Mark could then in turn ship it to me. But I did get an extra one, so the Mark for being the middleman is getting his own coin tray. So that
I'll unbox this one as well.
Beautiful.
Just so you can get a non-glossy. Sorry if that's really loud.
No, it's beautiful. And please describe the rubber nubs and tell me how they feel.
Oh, it's got a good weight. There's some little bumpy, perforated. I don't know what the word is. It's like dust collecting tendril or something on the bottom here.
Little tendrils.
Tendril's not the right word, but
All right. So with that housekeeping out of the way, Tech, I'll invite you now for your for your unboxing segment. Although I do recommend you turn off your background though, because it's really hard to see.
I'll store my loonies in this. Toonies.
Loonies or toonies.
Is there anything embarrassing in your background?
No.
25 boxes of Papa John's pizza stacked on.
Can we get a larger view of Tech for this, or is that not possible with our current? I don't know what Cody Cam can do. I don't know.
Yeah, we should have talked about this before this. I could do it, but it's gonna unscale the. I mean, I could just.
That's fine.
It's fine. Yeah. You just go for it, Tech.
Just get your head real close to the screen.
Oh, wait, no. I think I can. Oh wait, no. That makes it worse.
Just maximize him.
Yeah.
It's very well taped.
Mark. I put a bunch of tape on it.
You did. No lie.
Open it faster.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Subtitle loud shuffling.
So taped.
I actually don't 100% remember what I mailed you now.
Oh wow, so this will be exciting for you too.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't ska, but I'm not even sure about that.
Here, I have an insight into Mark's browser history here.
I just go overboard with tape. Like if I was running a business and I ship things out.
Wow.
What'd you get?
All right. Well, I'm trying to figure out what one thing is because I can't figure out what this is. Okay. Well, the things I do know what they is. One is a note, but I don't want to read the note.
No, you don't have to read the note. His note made me cry last time.
Okay. But there is this fucking pack of Final Fantasy cards. Just awesome.
Beautiful. Hey, I got a pack of those too. That Mark sent these to me too. I still haven't opened them yet.
What? The booster pack. I'm gonna open mine.
Yeah,
I'll get my pack and then maybe we can do some sick trades.
This is I don't know what this is. I can see that it has Sephiroth on it.
That is a towel.
Oh, it's a towel.
Oh, that's so sick.
Yeah.
Fucking sweet. Ooh.
It's a soft towel. Boy. I was in Osaka in like right before COVID hit at the beginning of March, and they had a bunch of Final Fantasy VII Remake lottery style merch at 7-Eleven, so I would go there first thing in the morning every day while I was there before like our meetings and stuff, and line up and get a ticket. And I just thought, who would want a Sephiroth?
Wow.
Look at that Masamune.
Damn. Kind of looks like Kevin.
Damn.
Wow, it does.
Thanks, Mark.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mark. Jeez Louise. Oh, this is...
Jeez Louise.
The sweetest guy.
Is that all that was in there?
This guy.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
You should.
Oh, wait. No. Sorry.
I honestly don't remember.
A pin.
Oh, sweet.
An R23X.
Oh, nice.
Pin. 20XDX, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
When I got up.
Yeah, I haven't opened it yet. Here, let me turn off my background effects and.
Everybody, check out their
show and tell.
Yeah, let's check this out here.
Somebody asked about my background. It's the Great Northern in Twin Peaks. You were right.
Is this a TC? Yeah, TCG. Nice.
Well, I'm trying to. Okay.
I don't know where my cards are.
Wow. So forward facing, right up front. First off, these cards feel incredible. Boom.
They got a nice
red mage.
Look at that. Just James right there.
Yeah, which anyone who knows me knows.
Oh,
I am the red mage. That is my identity.
You gotta sell it. Oh, it's wait. Well, no. Is that like
Kingdom Hearts
Core
or something.
Crisis Core.
Oh, it is. It does look like Crisis Core. Yeah.
That's okay. That's fine.
Wow, so
Sick.
these are characters from like all the Final Fantasy games.
Dude,
That's
yeah, I got
I got a
Stat.
Dorgon foil from Final Fantasy V. Look at that.
Whoa.
This is so fucking sick. I want to collect every single one of these cars now and just enter financial ruin. What? Dude,
got-
awesome.
Sick.
I got Amina. Oh, it's kind of getting blurred. I got a lot of Final Fantasy Type 0 characters.
Yeah, I
I got
a
one
couple of
too.
those.
Yeah. Oh man, this rules.
This means everything
believe-
to me. I'm going to display this somehow because I have another
Yeah, that's
only other
fine. That's
card
like
that I keep
that's like
nearby.
a Neo Gaia tarot reading, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have this card that I keep close at hand. This Starlight Zone card from it's a '90s Sonic card, but I think I'm gonna augment it and put this little red mage right next to it because that just means everything to me. To have friends means a lot.
Also, one side note, which is relevant to these cards, relevant to the Neo Gaia Fantasy Tour, is that the reason why I have this stack of booster packs is because Denver Jackson, director and studio runner of Cloud Rise Pictures, my good friend and collaborator, knows that I love Final Fantasy, but doesn't really care about it at all. But he had these cards for like 5 years sitting on his table saying, I bought you these cards.
Aw.
Like, I got these cards for you. I found them or something.
So it's a
And
regift.
I never saw them. I never grabbed them. And I'm like, and eventually, after years, I finally took them. So like, and I opened a few packs.
Rydia.
And
They got
this pack.
Forum and Vidya.
Rydia. Rydia was the very first Death Dynamic Shroud Bandcamp photo. It was
That's right.
Rydia with the kanji for eye, meaning love, on top of her face when it was all like it was all purple and streaky and shit. But yeah,
Q, that's right. It is a regift of a regift, but we all spent time together in Japan, and so the gifting has some kind of meaning that
Yeah.
I'm going to extrapolate from that.
yeah, Denver is super cool, super chill, and definitely a part of Neo Gaia by association. Was definitely there with us on the journey that year. So
For sure.
I wonder if I still have that. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna just dig in to something real quick.
Man, I wonder.
How many cards did you get in a pack?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I wouldn't mind seeing like pictures of everyone, because like when I opened mine, I was like, wow, these are like they're like referencing everything from Final Fantasy.
No,
These cards.
they are. I got an Izayoi card, and
I
she's
only
like
got 11.
she's a playable character, but only in Final Fantasy for the after years.
Oh yeah, okay. There you go then. That's
Yeah, like there's like
That's
all kinds
kind
of
of-
like.
obscure.
What did you say
Yeah.
about Final Fantasy 11, Kevin?
Oh, I said I only got 11 cards. Tech got 12.
Well, maybe I miscounted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, he's
No,
got
no,
one.
I counted correctly.
I was gonna say Tech doesn't make mistakes.
And Mark, just likes me more, I guess.
It's a little light, Mark.
I took one out of yours, and I sold it on eBay. It was a rare.
Resealed
Yeah.
it.
Oh, that was the first DDS pick.
Yeah, that was it. There she
Oh.
is. It's really bad. And the and
What
then
is that? The Final Fantasy like Chronicles CG opening or
it's
something?
something like that. And then
Or is it from Dissidia?
yeah, and then for a long it was probably Dissidia. And then for a long time this was our banner, which was made using Microsoft Word, like word art or some shit, some bullshit. But it's all good.
I
We
like
took it-
Microsoft.
That's fun for you. Windows, Windows. It's like just when I think it can't get any worse, and then I have to use it again, and it's like it's worse. It's just so bad. Just little things, just little tiny, having to put together this SD card for the flash mob for the Dreamcast. Just like so fucking excruciating. Just to rename folders takes
It
fucking
always
ever.
feels like you're getting a virus every time you're doing anything on it.
Yeah.
And everything just is all just. It's all right. It's okay. It's fine. It's great. Windows, it's there. It exists. It runs applications. Once the applications are running, it's usually okay as long as Windows doesn't decide that it's going to restart your computer right the fuck now. or like when you're like, okay,
any other OS, it's either a benefit or a hazard, and if it's a benefit,
then
not my problem.
Exactly. It's like, okay, I'm done using my computer. I'm going to shut it down. It's like, nope, I'm going to install updates for 10 minutes. But I don't want
10 minutes. That's a short little jaunt. Because when I tried to get PSO2 going with you guys, I was sitting there for like 4 hours trying to upgrade my ThinkPad to play a game with you guys.
And this is what you felt like inside.
Someone in the chat, people in the chat are asking for a Neo Gaia PO box. I actually have a PO box, so I will post it in the comments. And I don't know if you guys want to send us crap, I'll mail them out to everybody else. How about? I mean, do you guys have a PO box?
I do not.
No.
Okay.
I'm thinking about getting one though.
It's pretty sweet. I like having it. It makes me feel important. So.
How much does it cost you a month?
It's like $10 a month or something. It's pretty sweet. You get a cool key, and then you get to go there and open it and get all the junk mail and sales flyers and.
I'll do it for the key.
I just need another key in my life.
All right, there it is in the Twitch chat. The Neo Gaia, the Equip PO box, but
it's the Neo Gaia one too.
It can be the Neo Gaia one too.
Just like if you subscribe to Equip's Picks Patreon, you get sort of indirect access to me bi-weekly in the form of me reading Discord at 1 a.m. and checking where I've been tagged.
Yeah, I really kind of want to get in there because it sounds like people are saying a lot of nice things about Mark, and if there's a place where people are saying nice things about
nice
me,
things about you guys too.
Well, that's where I want to be. I want to be where they're saying the nice things.
I'll send you guys an invite because we could use some celebrity presence in there. I get sick of people telling me how cool I am all the time. So
it must be tough.
Hey, it's Pad Chennington in the chat.
Hey, Pad.
Oh, what's up, Pad? How
Thanks
you doing?
For popping in.
Speaking of celebs.
And the Pat Chennington's Block Party, that was such an awesome show, too. And that was so fun.
Oh, yeah.
And Tech and I were trapped inside the Mist books. I thought that was such a fun, clever idea, if I don't say so myself.
That was awesome.
It was fun ripping that because it was an excuse to also get to open my Mist application and do some screen captures. It's always like to open Mist.
That's like all of our new hobby
like
now,
physical,
really.
The Mist book thing.
Don't
you have?
I do. Yeah, here I'll. This is a really cool thing to show off real quick.
I think it's badass.
I think all of our collective new hobby is like screen capping interfaces now.
Yeah. I'm running out of ideas.
We got lots. There's just go to Wikipedia list of OSs.
I tried to do it was like Wizard OS or something, but it was like way too hard for me to get a good screen cap. I can't remember what it was called.
But the best ones won't be easy, Like the deepest cuts are not easy to find outside of like low res JPEGs,
you need a really crisp screen capture if you want to scale it up.
Yeah, because I actually I did the Windows 3.1 last week, and I had to stitch in a screen cap because I couldn't install new software on the emulator, basically. So, and it was probably not noticeable on stream, but you could see the difference of rasterized image. Yeah.
Man, these cards are so nice. The quality of them.
They're really thick.
Yeah, I was thinking about Magic cards and stuff, and these are just so intense. It's awesome. God. Thanks again.
Here's Dijon.
Oh, hey Dijon.
Oh, Dij.
All right,
Dij in the chat.
So
can we type D for Dijon?
Hilariously, Kevin, I thought you were talking about another Mist book that I have, because I have several. And then I realized what you were actually talking about. So I'm just gonna.
That's what's on my shirt. I'm wearing the Fire Tools, the red soccer ball shirt.
The classic.
Oh, awesome.
This is a really comfy shirt. It's like one of the few black shirts I can stand to wear, like in the summer. It's like really nice and light.
So, this is the first thing I have here from Mist to Riven,
God.
which is this beautiful,
So
beautiful, gigantic, like coffee table art book from the 90s that is all about the history of the developments of both Mist and Riven. And it's really special because it has some full-page, high-resolution renders from Riven, which are not available anywhere else because they fucked up and lost all of the assets to Riven. It's one of the greatest like digital tragedies of all time.
Jeez.
That's why there's a fan group that's recreating Riven in real-time 3D. That's the Starry Expanse that I was talking about. But yeah, like look at this book. Look at this. That's shit.
Crazy.
The fucking prison age here, like fucking believable high-resolution render. And you know that this took them like 12 days for this one image, you know.
Right, yeah.
Real.
But yeah,
Rendered
it's
on
really,
a
really
compact
special.
Presario.
But I was also a backer of the 25th anniversary Kickstarter, at the level in which I got this, which is the real.
That was what I was talking about.
Yeah,
Damn.
Yeah, this is the this direction. Yes, this is the real ass Mist book. And here I'm going to turn off Spotify real quick so we can all experience this together when I open it.
Wow.
That is so crazy.
Are you kidding me?
It's real.
Holy shit.
Damn.
I can't believe that thing.
That
It's
is
real.
fucking
When you
awesome.
posted a video on like Twitter with that, I was like, what kind of Photoshop trickery is this? And then I looked it up and I was like, oh my god, that's a real thing.
Yeah, it's real. It's happening in real time.
I mean, the book is very thick. It definitely has like a Raspberry Pi in it or something.
Right, so well, the electronics aren't really that big. I mean, it's surreal, right? To see like the actual linking page and like I feel like I should disappear after I touch it. But the trick
Sad
is,
people wants to know if it runs Doom.
I'm sure it does.
That's funny.
But you can pull down the little side piece here, and then it has these little drawers that come out, and then this has all the games on DVD.
Oh my god!
On there. Yeah, so it's a really, really cool thing. I don't back a lot of shit on Kickstarter, but it was like sometimes you just need one of these kind of prized possessions, you know, and this definitely is one.
Speaking of, my friend Joe just got his Shenmue 3 like the other day.
What?
Yeah.
It's been out for like 1,000 years.
I know. They like totally screwed over the Kickstarter backers for that.
Joe is like a huge Shenmue guy, though, isn't he? Like,
yeah, he's like one of the biggest Shenmue fans I know.
Like he's like his Twitter icon is still Ryo Hazuki.
Uh-oh.
And like they didn't like the like day one version that they came out has like more features than they just sent him like a retail copy of the game. There's like nothing special about it.
Oh, that sucks.
Sent him like a Gildan T-shirt and then like the retail copy of the game for like $100 backing. It's just insane.
Yeah, I have not played it yet because I'm still at the end of Shenmue 2 like I have been since I was a teenager. I'll know when it's right, you know? I'll know when the time is right. Recently restarted the Final Fantasy VII remaster again because after I finished all those videos and performances, I finally had a moment to breathe. And now I'm just like...
Remaster or remake?
Remake, I'm sorry. Yeah, and it is just exquisite. Just
Where are you in it right now?
Yeah.
I'm on the Jesse mission, so just past the first like motorcycle shit, which was so much fun. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And like all the little side quests in the slums, it's just like holy shit. Like and it's
slums. The first time I saw the slums, like I was just like, oh my fucking god.
When you wake up and it's like it's morning in the slums, and you're just like,
yeah, and it's playing the fucking music.
Yeah.
And like the light comes in when you open the door, and it's just like, holy.
It really felt like staying in a guest home in Japan or something, and waking up and being in a whole new world, like arriving in a city at night and then seeing it in the morning for the first time. And the Along on Our Way track plays, which is like the piano version of that is what I micro sampled for the server shutdown, which I had just been listening to on a loop for like a month straight working on that video. So and so then the actual song started playing, but it's like the remake version. And I was just like feeling all kinds of fucked up over it. 10 out of 10. Really excited to continue that journey.
Yeah. Kevin, you got to play it.
I know.
Also, isn't the combat just extremely fun?
It's fun.
I know.
Switching in real time and just like the getting a second to make your decisions. It's a really fun game. I'm not gonna lie.
I played it on baby mode, like the easy mode.
You played it on easy?
Yeah, like no, I can't even get any trophies because it's like for people who've never played games before.
Oh, well, hey, there's nothing wrong with gaming accessibility, but
I'm a medium kind of guy.
I'm like a turn it into a movie kind of guy.
Well, it kind of is, but
it depends on the game, really. There's some games I just want to get through, and then there's some games I want to like experience. You know?
Yeah, I'm not gonna set it to cinematic mode on like Tetris or something.
That'd be sweet.
Cinematic
mode. Spin the blocks for you.
Yeah, wow, so compelling.
Just total random luck.
So we're gonna kind of winding down here, but we didn't talk about it last week, so maybe we should just close this episode really quick, just going over our Spotify picks, or at least and then maybe we'll take a look at this Tome of Equipped Secrets. So folks, I don't know what's in here. We still haven't peered into this document. I don't know what we're gonna find, but Kevin's been just a little wily today, a little wily, and he's just
Kevin, you get to go first because you were first in sending the songs.
I'm always first.
Is that how it works? Okay,
that's what we're doing this time here.
Shoot, what did I put on there last week? Some good stuff I remember.
Here, this is I'm gonna pull it up for you here.
Okay, so last week I did The Platters, My Prayer, which was influenced by Twin Peaks Season 3. I've been listening to that song nonstop. So good. We've been barbecuing every single day at my house, which is pretty commonplace for summer. Me and my roommate love to grill, and sometimes we'll grill like breakfast and then also grill dinner on the same day. Just nice too, because it keeps the heat out of the house. But we've been listening to the Top Gun soundtrack while we grill.
Oh, nice!
So,
awesome.
Got the
that is awesome.
The Top Gun theme on there, which is beautiful guitar heroics, and then there's a Dion, not the like keyboardist did the split with Grimes Dion, but like the classic 60s 50s Dion.
Yeah, he did. I think he did Run Around Sue is what he's most famous for.
Yeah, so this is like an 80s Dion album that he did with Phil Spector called Born to Be With You, and it was one of my favorites when I was working at the record store. And then Tech and I were kind of talking about like doo-wop music, and I was like, oh, you gotta check out this Dion song. It rules. This whole album is amazing. So In and Out of the Shadows is just a fantastic track. And for this week, what did I send you? I sent you an Aya Gloomy track.
The first one.
She's a Japanese kind of experimental pop artist, contemporary, and she's just fantastic. We are big Aya Gloomy fans here. What else did I send? The scrolling up here. On the screen.
Bowie.
Oh yeah. I'm afraid of Americans because I genuinely am starting to. Well, I am afraid of Americans. But this also too, like I was enamored with that Twin Peaks episode with 9 Inch Nails, and I remembered I was
fucking sick.
It is amazing. It's so perfect with the episode. And I was like, oh yeah, 9 Inch Nails did a song with David Bowie called "I'm Afraid of Americans." I gotta like re-listen to that. So then it got stuck in my head. I've been jamming that one almost every single day. And the next one is a Jeff Parker song from his 2016 record, Jeff Parker is a jazz guitarist. I'm not sure if he still lives here, but he was based in Chicago for a while, and he was a part of the band Tortoise, which is how I discovered him. I was a huge Tortoise fan. That was one of my biggest musical phases, was like getting into Tortoise and all the related projects. So the 2016 record is on International Anthem, which is a local label, and it's like a fantastic blend of like jazz and hip hop. Really, really special. So that's my pick.
Awesome. James, what'd you pick?
Last week I don't even remember. There's a Sick Luxury Elite track that's really good.
Swack. That's the one.
Did I put that song from? I didn't put that song on there.
You picked a Marcus Fjellstrom song.
Oh yeah. So that one, Fairy Tale Music 3. God, yeah. So at first you're like, all right, some more dark ambient bullshit, whatever. But Marcus Fjellstrom, rest in peace. He died young, and it was super tragic. Marcus Fjellstrom, there's something so special about his compositions and the way that they mutate and develop, and he's actually was a legit musician, and it's very evident. About halfway through that Fairy Tale Music, it just, like, the floor bottoms out underneath you, and you just fall into the pits of hell. It's a really beautiful track. But yeah, I don't remember everything, but the only thing that's really worth talking about, Snowdrift Waltz that I put on this week. So this is a Naoshi Mizuta track from the Wings of the Goddess soundtrack for Final Fantasy XI. This is one of my favorite tracks to just repeat one and just let it roll while you're doing some real tedious computer work or some kind of like... something that you don't have to hear the audio to as you like work tirelessly on something, doing Blender renders or any of that shit. Snowdrift Waltz on loop will take you where you need to go, and of course that destination is the New World. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about my tracks in general. What about you, Tech?
I picked an Ultravox song called Sleepwalk, which was like a minor hit in like, I want to say like the early 80s. They had a bigger hit in Vienna, I think. But anyway, it's just a cool like 80s song.
Or like in Vienna, like the place?
Like they have a song called Vienna that was like a hit.
I was being facetious.
I'm sorry. I couldn't read your face sometimes. Just some razzing. I picked a Secret Service song because I was just in the mood for these like weird like 80s synth pop sort of or synth driven rock.
Those dudes rule.
Song. Yeah.
Which Secret Service song?
The Go Between. They have like, I don't know what the Lost Box is. I don't know if it's like a collection of unreleased songs or something.
It is. It's basically like the Suitcase box set for GBV. The Lost Box was like a box of demos that they had never finished and then like polished up and released. It's like a bunch of unreleased.
It came out a while back, but for some reason everything on their Spotify says that it came out in 2020.
Right, yeah, but it's definitely from like 1987 or something.
Yeah.
And then finally, towards the end, I put a song called "It Means Love" by Lovelock. Lovelock is a really cool. It's Steve Moore from the band Zombie. He does a lot of sort of like horror film synth, Italian horror style soundtracks and music like that. But he has a project called Lovelock that's just like synth pop, and favorite albums of the 2000s. But I put he has like a new EP called Washington Park, so I put the opening track from that on there because I like that a lot.
We lost you for about 30 seconds, but who cares?
Who fucking cares?
No, I'm just. It's fine.
I heard him the whole time.
Yeah.
I heard the whole thing.
Oh, well, it must be on my end. Dang.
Oh, well.
Oh, and it's also worth noting, I did put a Windows 96 song on here, Deep Swim. This came up just randomly sometimes. I just let Spotify do its thing. and it popped up, and I was like, damn, this track is dope. Who is this? And then I was like, oh, Windows 96. Wow, cool, it's them. And I made right then and there a playlist of tracks that I think are just like chill, and the playlist is called Deep Swim because of that track. So
nice.
If you're looking to chill, check out Deep Swim, Windows 96. Also, that Windows 96 virtual electronics store experience and the
so cool.
so fucking cool. So fucking cool.
I'll just say one thing quickly about my tracks. I don't need to actually talk about all of them because ska is involved again, and I don't want to bracket the entire bookend this entire episode with ska, but
you don't want to skank up the chat.
But there is one track on there that I put from last week. I put the selector on there that I mentioned that when we were talking about ska earlier. But there is a track called Pharaoh's Walk that by Exodus, and this is actually like it's not ska. It's more of like an up-tempo reggae song by actually my uncle, my great uncle. I'll send you a link. Actually, my great uncle. He's now passed away. His name is Jack Price, and he worked for Trojan Records.
Wow.
And he was a record exec, working on like reggae records and producing ska and reggae in England in like the 70s and 80s. And
whoa, I had no idea that.
I went for anybody who, for a little backstory on me, I went, here's a link. Trojan Records did a write-up on him. He's like my I don't know if he's my great uncle. He's like my mom's uncle. So I met him. So like little backstory on me, I'm half Danish and half English. So my mom's side of the family is from England, and I went there when I was 19, and I actually met him, and he inspired me to make music because he just sat me down in his studio and like played like 7 inches that he like produced when he was living in New Zealand, and like he kind of helped introduce like England to a lot of different reggae acts and stuff like that. And it was just like go to Jamaica and like find music and bring it back, and that was like there was no internet, right? So it was like
that's amazing.
Yeah, he's a really
is in your blood.
It kind of is, yeah. But he, rest in peace. He was like a really nice guy. He sat me down and we shared a bag of crisps and talked about ska. And he was like, "Chase your dreams, man." And it was then, that was like 10 years ago.
Wow, that's really fucking cool.
When I saw Exodus, I totally thought it was the metal band Exodus. And I was like, oh wow, Mark is like more musically eclectic than I thought.
Well, I saw Pharaoh, and I also thought metal. I thought of that. What was that? Freedom Call. Ramsey Pharaoh, wise man, giant in the sky. So yeah, that will be on next week's playlist probably. And I think that's a good place to stop for the night. So thank you everyone for tuning in once again to another virtual desktop experience. Thank you, Skeleton Lipstick.
Ronnie has a Vaporspace show on Friday. I want to pull this up before we...
Yeah, sure. Just shoot me the
or
link.
If anybody has a link, put it in the chat if they're faster than me at typing on keyboards, which is very likely.
Also, James, you got to open the Tome of Equip.
Oh, I know. Don't worry.
Oh.
We're getting to that.
The Mother 3 playthrough continues. I guess it'll be a little bit before Ronnie's stream, I think. Unless we're at the same time, then I encourage you all to watch Ronnie's stream. But I have to play this game once a week, or else I'm going to forget what happened. So.
Do you have a link for that? Where's?
I'm looking. It's Vaporspace.
I think there's also some Neo Gaia vinyl left over if anybody hasn't got those yet.
Quentin the Hero and Sad Weeb posted it in the chat.
Oh, nice.
Vaporspace Premium. Okay, sweet. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so you're going to have to follow those links. I'm sorry I don't have access to that chat, but cool. So,
also, 100% Electronica's got the band Small Black coming on the big stream on Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Don't miss that. They're a cool band on Jaguar, I think.
Sweet.
All right.
What band is going to be there?
So now, Kevin, to punish you for all those plugs, We are, folks. Now I don't know what's in here, but it's time, I think, that we finally take a look at the tome of Equip's secrets. So
Better have an LCD screen in it.
yeah, so who knows? This could shatter reality. This could end humanity. But I think at the very least, it will certainly end this stream. So here, let me just go around here, and we can go ahead and we can get rid of that, and we can get rid of that chat window and the Spotify window. Okay, so without further ado, thank you everyone for watching. Until next time.